Hi, Jamie. I see you have Gizmo with you today.
I do.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that beautiful bird?
Yeah, well, Gizmo is in his early 20s. He has been with me for about just about 2 years now. And he came to us from an elderly owner that who had had him since he was just a wee boy. And the elderly owner was going into nursing care and did not have relatives that could take the two birds that were living together in the cage. One was already adopted prior to today. He's been adopted and living in another home, and Gizmo's been in our care for a while.
Okay, and you mentioned that Gizmo is 20-ish. How long does a bird like Gizmo, um, go?
With optimum care
Yeah.
and good luck, good genes and good luck and good diet and all of that, these guys can live to be 60 to 80 years old. And there are some that, like just like humans, can be super agers and live well beyond 80, but that's very unusual. But he does have a whole future ahead of him here, and something he needs to think about that. He did not have a situation that agreed with him, and I will show you what happens when birds are not getting what they need. He plucked himself. So he's a rather naked bird in the front. And you can see right here, this lump isn't a disease. This is his most recent meal. When you have a bird that has no feathers, you get to see their crop and watch their digestion in action. So what he's got in there is quite a bit of morning pellets that he's digesting right now. So
Okay.
he didn't have maybe the happiest time sharing that cage with another bird, maybe just a bit incommoded, a little bit too crowded in there, and he did pluck. And those feathers, he gets scattered growth in here, but then it gets itchy and he just pulls them right back out. They will never grow back again. He'll never be a fully feathered bird.
Okay. And we keep saying he. How do we know that he's a he?
My recollection is that he was DNA sexed.
Okay, and that would be, of course, the best way.
Mhm.
And the other question that I don't think we've answered quite yet is we said that he's a macaw, but what kind of a macaw are we?
What was that?
What kind of a macaw are we?
Oh, he has a blue and gold, sans gold right here, but he has a blue and gold macaw. They're very reasonable macaws most of the time, and he is just one such reasonable macaw.
Okay, and he, of course, is doing quite well with you as an adult right now. We're seeing him sitting there without, fussing too much. Do we know how he does with the younger set?
He actually does really well. He has visited my classroom. I'm a special education teacher, and he actually has visited the school on two occasions during our fall festival when I had a place set up and children could come over and stand with me and have their picture taken beside me and the
Mhm.
macaw. And he has met my students and actually kind of liked all the hubbub and was pretty easygoing around everybody. Very happy guy.
Mhm. So he's happy with supervision, of course,
Oh, yes.
with strangers that are younger and that kind of energy. How is he with other non-human animals, be it cats, dogs, or other birds?
He doesn't seem to really care much about them either way. I have a three-legged cat who hops around here like a bunny and will kind of sit and watch him like, wow, if I had four legs, you know. But he just ignores the cat. And we used to have, before other life changes happened, we had um, a foster greyhound running around the house, greyhound mix, and she had some rather high energy, and he never showed any reaction to her either, just kind of passing interest when she would zoom by.
Yes, a greyhound, I can imagine. So for the benefit of our listeners, what did you do with the greyhound or now with the cat to ensure that, both species stayed safe?
I never turned my back on anybody. And I when introductions are made, you always have to really move slowly and watch behavior and be ready to change things up, be ready to move the bird to safety. Uh, Over time, I knew that that everybody was safe here, but I still never, ever turn my back or leave the room. If I have to leave the room, the bird goes with me.
Yeah, they don't
And if
need
I
to.
can't take the
Yeah,
bird with me, then the bird goes back to his
yeah.
cage.
Okay. And I see that, as we said earlier, that Gizmo looks, fairly calm in there with you. And is that pretty much what he's like all day?
Yeah, he's pretty relaxed. He gets excited if a delivery man comes to the door. He'll be like, "Oh, what's going on?" and really interested.
Hmm.
And just now you saw him sit up and kind of look alert. There was somebody walking their dog uh, across the street, and he could see the dog and the person out the window and just wanted to get a little look at it. And
Hmm.
behind here is my backyard. I call these they have like three TV sets in the bird room. There's a big window and they watch the channel out that window and watch the various shows, the people walking their dogs shows, the gardener trimming the bushes show and all that, the wild turkeys passing our house show. And
Uh,
so he's always looking out the windows to see what's going on.
so when he's not watching his birdie vision of television, what else does he do with the rest of his day?
I put foraging toys into his cage because he and another macaw that I foster, Ralph, they are both of the seafood diet variety. I seafood, I eat it all at once. And
Hmm.
so I have to put portions of the food in foraging toys around the cage to slow down the gobble and just give them something to do. They're so smart, they need something um, it- to occupy their huge brains and keep them interested in their life. So if you put the food in foraging toys, they spend a good bit of the day trying to figure out how to bust open the toys and get their stuff out.
And what is his normal diet?
He gets a blend of pellets. I blend Zupreme Natural with Harrison's and occasionally some Rowdy Bush. And I do that so that if and when my birds are adopted, the pet parents, their forever family has a choice of foods to
Hmm.
try. They can either keep doing a blend or they can settle on one or the other, and it won't be traumatic for the bird.
Hmm.
And then he also enjoys his fresh fruits and vegetables. But since I work, I am a teacher and I am gone during the day. I don't want to leave things in there that will then spoil. So I learned this a long time ago from another Mickaboo person that human grade freeze dried fruits and vegetables are a great option for getting the fruits and vegetables into the diet earlier in the day without spoilage. So all of my birds get a scoop of a mix of different vegetables, including cabbage and kale and carrots and different fruits, strawberries, blueberries, and then also some corn and different things. I mix it. I buy them in number 10 cans and custom mix all of it. And they
Hmm.
each get a scoop of that every morning for breakfast. And then whatever I'm eating for dinner, I make sure they get some of it. And if I'm not having fresh fruits or vegetables, I prepare them some out of
Hmm.
uh, my collection in the kitchen. So here's what they're all going to be getting today since it's the weekend. This and some blood orange and some other things. So there, he likes fresh carrots, for example. Whoop,
Whoops. Well, he
maybe
used
not right now because he saw the apple and
to.
he's like, I'd rather have the apple. So we are just like a little kid, you have to give them the least sweet thing first and then move your way over because they'll always go for the sweet one. He's like, no, apple, please. There we go, right? Okay, you want to go up there? I'm going to switch him to his stand, if you don't mind.
Go for it. And while he's eating, I see some notes here about meal feeding Gizmo and how that is important to him because of his hormonal profile.
He has to have a limit. I measure out all of his food, so he gets a certain amount every day and no more than that. And so Since he is inclined to eat his morning meal so rapidly, as I said, I do put it in foraging toys, and so his morning meal, he has to work for it. While I'm away at work, he has to forage and find and
Hmm.
extract his food, and then I feed him another small meal later in the day. But the thing is, you just have to control the portions. I don't just fill up the cup and let him take what he wants because he'll eat all of it.
And I see he's blushing a little bit, or at least it looks like he's blushing a little bit on camera here.
Yep.
We're talking about you. So when he's not on a perch, not on your arm, he supposedly is somewhere around his cage. Can you tell us a little bit about his cage?
Yes, he stays in a bird room. I converted a bedroom in my house into a room where all the birds have not well, all the three large birds and then two slightly smaller birds have their cages in there, and I have specialized lighting and so forth. And they are not out at all, and no possibility of getting out when they are in that room in the cage. It's only when I take them out, and big beaks out for a certain time and little beaks out somewhere else for a certain time,
Mhm.
so that we don't have any tragedies.
Indeed.
And his room, I purchased very bright bird lighting. It's full spectrum lighting, and it's a very, very bright room. There are five different fixtures in there casting a really bright glow, and then also a large window through which they can see the whole front of the front area of the house, and wildlife sometimes, and people passing and so forth. So they have a lot of light in there and visual interest.
The birdie TV, the idea, yes. What special care does Gizmo need?
He has a beak issue. If you look while he's eating here, you can see there's a little divot out of his beak. He sustained an injury several years ago to his beak, and it caused a deep tissue infection, which has been resolved, but the beak has never fully regrown. And we're still working on that. So I do take him to the veterinarian. He goes to one of the Mickaboo approved veterinarians in the Bay Area. And I take him in every several months, maybe 3 to 6 months apart. He'll have visits, and they shave down that area, and they continue to try to get the beak to continue growing
Mm.
over the little divot there. Can I show
Yep,
them?
yep. Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, so we're still trying to get it to grow over that divot.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any pain from it. There are no ill effects. It's more of a cosmetic issue, but it can become a health issue if you don't keep it shaved back to allow air on the divot.
hmm Okay.
And
So
other than that, he's not on any medications. He's in very good health, naked but healthy.
I had a note that at one point he was having hormonal implants. Has that stopped?
Yeah, he's never required one since he's been here.
You okay? Good-o. And macaws are generally known for imitating the English language, and some of them are quite gifted. What is Gizmo's deal there?
He pretty much is limited to just hi, hello, good morning. And that's pretty much about it. Most of the others do the talking. And he just has those words.
Okay. Well, in our last couple of minutes here, what would you like a potential future home for Gizmo to know about him?
This is such a sweet and loving bird. I can't emphasize enough what a gentle, sweet bird is, and anybody who adopted him would be gaining a friend for life. He's absolutely lovely. And I'm always sorry that some people will judge based on feathering. They want a pretty bird. Well, this is a pretty bird. He has more than one side, and he uh, is beautiful on the inside as well. And I hope that that people can appreciate that he's more than just his chest feathers. He's such a lovely, lovely bird. He'd be such a great companion for
Don't
some.
judge the book by the cover,
Yep.
so to speak. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Jamie and Gizmo, for spending some time, and hopefully somebody out there will come and be your forever home. Thank you so much.